Okay, we're going to have proof, undeniable scientifically, that there was more than one officer there. Okay? When you got complete darkness and all of a sudden down in the south, you see some light, the first thing we do is we look up. We look up to the source from the light. And all of the little lines like this that come down, we call them particle beams. And the scientific name for this is photons, like photo, photons. In the ghetto, call them light beam particles. So if you got a flashlight and you see these lines like this, you say, hey man, see them light beam particles? Like a lifesaver from like Star Wars? Well, the particles dim from the source of light. So the source of light is up there at 12 o'clock. And then as you get down lower, away from the source, the particle beams seem to scatter. They widen up. Or the I'm gonna say photons widen up away from the source of the light. And these flashlights, they produce photons. In darkness, flashlights produce photons. See the photon particles spread from its source of light? Now, we're going to look at this incident of Ozone's vehicle. To the left, and if you look in the top left corner, what you see up there is called photons. That means the light source came from the same side that that window is on. And then this white line in the middle between the two lights, that's the edge of the door. So on every vehicle, to the right of that edge of the door is the inner door, which is black and it's painted to the color of the vehicle. We call it, like if you go to a body shop, get your car painted, you ever see a car that got a different color on the inside than the outside? That's because it's not you can't straight shoot that. And they charge you extra because they say we got to open the door, and that's a whole different angle, and we got to mask it off and mask off the other side and then paint the door jambs. So once you open the door, you're in a whole different angle because a flashlight only shoots straight. All right. So that's why you see that other beam that's shooting straight from the opposite direction. So you got the glass window with a photon in the top left corner, and it's higher than the beam on the window. So that means it was at a higher angle, from an upward angle, angling diagonally down. And as the door was opened wider, whoever was near the rear driver's part of the vehicle, that's the beam from that flashlight, which could be in between the doors when the doors open. So those are two totally different beams at two totally different angles. And the photons prove that they didn't come from one side of this door. That white line represents the edge of the door. So these are two whole different, like 180 degrees beams on this door. The flashlight beam on the inside of the door is black painted steel. So there's no way that you can say, oh, that light's coming from the inside and hitting the steel and flashlight going through the steel. Impossible. So scientifically, Daytona Beach has to prove where that other second beam came from. No matter how they switch up who's the outside beam on the glass or who had the inner flashlight, that officer had one flashlight in his hand and the other hand was on ozone. Yeah.